Night on Family Law.
Trespass.
How can she be doing this?
She won't even look. What is your problem? I have a right to do this if I want to. No.
Did you read at the damn injunction?
Yeah, read this.
Stop it.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Cook, attorney for the Neighborhood Association.
They're trying to throw me in jail for illegal construction.
We have an injunction to stop construction, and if the hearing board sees things your way, then you can get your drug rehab clinic open on schedule.
Joe, get back to work.
No. Anna, they could have you locked up for contempt.
I told you we'd close you down.
Mr. Weller, can you control your client?
It's her property.
Hey, stick with the shade. You are standing in my flower bed. You know what? You're ruining the neighborhood. Oh, yeah?
Just relax.
Well, my house is half the size of yours and a lot less ugly.
But I don't have drug addicts living in mine.
No, I just checked your kids' rooms lately.
Hey, go to hell! What are you doing? Stop it! Stop it! Sorry. Look, he's throwing mud at us. Stop it! Hey, guys, everything's fine. My client was just about to shut up.
First of all, I've heard about your partner's loss. I am so sorry.
Thank you.
I also spoke to Mr. Landry about the dirt clod incident.
That ass gave me 10 grand to help open the rehab center.
No one knew you were going to open it in your house, so if you're willing to compromise on that matter, he's willing to drop the charges.
That would be a very generous offer if the DA hadn't already dropped them. My client was merely doing a little gardening. How was she to know that Mr. Landry was trespassing on her property?
The DA blocked that?
I could be very charming. And by an odd coincidence, 88 Duncan's son wanted front row seats to my client's concert at the Greek. Anything else you have to offer?
$2.5 million. We buy your property and your client takes the cash and puts her clinic anywhere else on the planet.
You only own it 2 months. That is a $500,000 profit.
Look, I know you don't want drug addicts in your neighborhood, and neither do I. That's why I'm doing something about it.
I'm going to take that as a no.
Actually, you can take it as a shove it.
My client's home is in a designated B2 zone, which allows it to be used as a clinic.
The proposed rehab center has inpatient services. According to the building code, it's a hospital, and you can't open a hospital in a B2
I
zone.
figured you'll be shutting down the Plastic Surgery Recovery Center at the Broadmoor Hotel, too.
The people at the Broadmoor Hotel don't break into drugstores to get the money they need for perky breasts.
Ms. Raines has complied with all city regulations. You cannot deny this application just because these people make you uncomfortable.
Mr. Weller, this board can vote against your application and still care. In fact, if they turn you down, perhaps it is merely to allow your client to take her money and buy a bigger place where the land is less expensive and therefore help more people.
But what kind of logic is that?
It's simple. If these people turn you down, it is only because they want to help more drug addicts.
Okay, I'm ready to vote. All those in favor of granting the application for 9500 Roxbury Drive to serve as a drug treatment center? Opposed? The application is hereby denied.
Next order of business, the remodel of the Martinson Kitchen.
This application refused by the City of Beverly Hills Zoning Board.
Well, I'm sure each of the members had their own reasons. Personally, I was concerned about proposed renovations to the facade and how it would impact the character of the neighborhood.
So it wasn't because the future residents would be members of a protected class under the Americans with Disability Act as alleged in this lawsuit.
Objection. Leading.
Do I really need to rephrase, Your Honor?
I know what you meant. Witness will answer.
No, of course not. There are quite a few drug rehab clinics in Beverly Hills.
Play with your hair or something.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Hammer at the design restrictions and drop your pen every now and then so the judge can look down your jacket.
Asswipe.
That wasn't charming.
According to the transcripts of the zoning hearing, all questions and comments related to who the residents would be. Nothing was mentioned about the facade of the building, was there?
Well, that's because I reviewed the architectural plans the night before. There was no need to ask any questions about design.
Then why discuss the residents at all?
Council brought that up. But in the end, it wasn't a factor.
Excellent. So if my client agrees to all these architectural changes you want, you'll allow the rehab clinic to open?
Objection. Mr. Unger is one member of the zoning committee. He can't make decisions by himself.
I'm simply asking how he'd vote, and when I call the next member, I'll ask how she'd vote. There are only 11 members. We could wrap this up pretty quickly.
The fact is, Miss Lipton, while it was not their motive, they are well within their right to deny access to these people.
Because of their disability? Did you even go to law school?
As your partner pointed out at the hearing, there are a number of drug rehabilitation facilities in the city of Beverly Hills.
3, and they charge $6,000 per week.
Yes, they do. The zoning committee did not discriminate against these people because they are drug addicts. They discriminated against these people because they are poor. And poor people are not a protected class.
I used for years, over 12. I started out innocent enough, have a little smoke before the show.
So your drug use was confined to marijuana?
At first, but then it was everything. Speed or coke while we were traveling, some downers to get some sleep, and of course we'd go out drinking after every show. And then because I was feeling immortal, I started shooting up.
When did you know you had a problem?
I was at home the end of last year with Lisa. We'd grown up together. She'd go on the road with me. She drew my album covers. She started shooting up too. We thought it made us feel even closer. That night, she puts the needle in like she's done 100 times before. And she just slumps over. I didn't think anything of it at first, but then I saw her eyes were open and she was staring nowhere. I lifted her up. I shook her, slapped her. I called 911, but then her eyes rolled back. And I just held her trying to keep her here. And then I heard that last breath sneak out of her. And then I tried to kill myself. The paramedics I called saved me. I woke up in rehab, and when I got out, I decided to start the clinic.
I hate to do this, but objection. As moving as that was, it's just not relevant to the issue of discrimination.
Your Honor, we're simply trying to establish that what these people suffer from is a true disability. It can be fatal.
There's no evidence that that's why the center was turned down. As I've said before, the zoning board is merely concerned with the financial wherewithal of the occupants.
So it's illegal to move into Beverly Hills if you're poor.
If you think that's what they're trying to do, the Americans with Disabilities Act isn't going to help you. I mean, she's right. Being poor isn't a legal disability.
Your Honor, if I could ask a couple of questions, I think you'll see the relevance of this testimony. Sit down. How much money did your friend make per year?
I paid her a salary, $75,000.
Very generous. What was her estate worth?
Nothing. She was almost $100,000 in debt.
And how did she lose all that money?
She spent it on drugs.
Your Honor, to talk about drug addiction without talking about poverty is insane. These people are poor because they are drug addicts. Is it okay if they turn away the mentally disabled because they don't have fat bank accounts either? What about blind children? Hardly any of them make 6 figures. Your Honor, using these people's poverty to justify turning our backs on them is dishonest and immoral. You can take it from here.
I feel a great deal of sympathy for the plight of the residents of Beverly Hills. They have to balance their desire to help people with the concern for a safe community. And ultimately,
I don't believe it.
residents have a
She's
right to
winning
make
anyway.
Decisions they think are necessary for the quiet enjoyment of their property.
They also have a right to expect you to follow the precedent established by the Fourth Circuit.
Ms. Lipton, I'm delivering my verdict. That means you sit down. Now, it's been pointed out to me that the Fourth Circuit held that property rights do not trump the Americans with Disabilities Act. But I'm of the view that drug addiction doesn't constitute a disability.
Support Ministries v. Waterford. I covered this in my closing argument.
Sit down. It's my opinion that Support Ministries versus Waterford is not applicable. Numerous cases have upheld the right to discriminate based on financial ability.
Only when there's a relevant business consideration, Your Honor, such as in mortgage finance.
Sit down. One more word, and I'm holding you in contempt.
Your Honor.
You sit down too, Mr. Weller.
No, sir. Every single objection to this project has been addressed by Ms. Lipton. You know it. I know it. Opposing counsel knows it. The appellate court will know it soon enough.
Mr. Weller, do you know what I know? The exact amount of time you're going to spend in the Beverly Hills jail.
No, Your Honor, he's right. They're either going to win now or win on appeal.
You're withdrawing your objection to the clinic?
Yes. I don't want to waste my client's money or the court's time. I do, however, have one clarification before consenting to Miss Rain's application. If, for legitimate planning concerns, the city wanted to restrict this facility to 2 beds, would that be legal?
That's not a clinic. That's a guest room. Your Honor, that would clearly be a violation of the spirit.
There's no case law to back her up, no statutes, no regulations.
The intention of the ADA is...
Well, it's nothing I'm worried about anymore. You won that one. I'm going to order the city of Beverly Hills to issue all the applicable permits for a 2-bed rehab center. We're in recess.
I'm sorry, Anna. There'll be an election in a couple of years, a new board. Maybe you can start the clinic then.
I'm doing it now. I have 2 more beds than I had yesterday. And besides, it'll piss off the neighbors just as much. See you guys later.
Thank you for all your help.
Yeah. Will you write me another letter?
Sorry.